What's up everyone? In today's video, we are taking the GT3 and the 4RS up to Sonoma Raceway for a track day. Since we only live about an hour from the track, we're just going to prep the cars the night before and then drive up first thing in the morning. At this point, any service items like an oil change or a brake fluid flush would have already been done, so it's really just getting the numbers and tow hooks in place, getting the camera mount set up, getting the catalyst and the V-box ready, and then just double checking that our tires, brakes, and oil are all ready to go. Before any track day, I always like to spend a bit of time in the sim just to re-familiarize myself with the track and with the ideal line. Before I hit the sim, I would typically just watch a lot of YouTube videos the day before. I think there's a lot of really great track breakdowns that can help you learn the line, and then of course you can find a video of someone driving a similar car to yours on track. That can be really helpful as well, just for getting a sense of what to expect. During the lunch break, we first made some adjustments to our aero setups. I was running max downforce on the front and rear, but I wanted a bit more throttle steer, and so we reduced the rear wing setting from max to 3 out of 4. Chase was running his car at factory, which is minimum downforce, but I think for a technical track like Sonoma, you can benefit from a bit more downforce, and so we increased his on the front and rear. After that, we headed over to Raceway Cafe for a quick bite to eat. The food's surprisingly decent for a track, and then we walked around the paddock for a bit just because there's always some great car spotting during track days. Finally, we pulled some of the footage off the cameras to make sure everything looked good, since of course we can't really make adjustments while we're out on track, and then we headed back out for our afternoon sessions. Alright, so now that the track is warmed up and I'm feeling a bit more comfortable, I'm hoping to push my pace a bit to try to get my lap times more in line with my optimal in the sub 150 range. Unfortunately though, in the fourth session, I end up in a lot of traffic. I went to line up at the front of the grid and there were already a couple cars there that probably shouldn't have been there, and so after a lap of no point buys and following this train of cars, I go into the hot pits to get a bit more space, but unfortunately don't end up with a clean lap this session. In the fifth session, one of my friends is riding along with me, and so with a passenger, that's going to take a bit of time off my lap, and then I'm also just driving a bit more cautious as well. Finally, a couple things happened in the last session. First, a car went into the wall in the run group before me, The driver is fine, the car less so, but whenever there's an accident on track, I'm always going to be a bit more cautious when I head back out. I also ended up getting a black flag this session. I got a point buy from an instructor's car between turns 9 and 10, which is typically a pretty safe place to pass at Sonoma, but it wasn't one of the official passing zones for my run group, Group B, and so I ended up getting the black flag for this. After the session was over, one of the organizers actually came over and apologized because their rule is to always follow what an instructor says, and in this case it was an instructor that gave me the point buy. I didn't mind the black flag though, but unfortunately it did make it a bit harder to get clean laps this session. Overall, really fun day, hard to complain when you're at the track, though I am hoping to get my lap times into the 140s when I'm back at Sonoma next time. Alright, so it's the day after the track day, and the first thing we're going to be looking at today is the brakes. The main thing we want to take a look at is the brake pad thickness, because we're still running the original Porsche carbon ceramics. Eventually we're going to replace those for iron rotors, but for now it's important to make sure that the pad thickness stays above 50%, because once it gets below that threshold, they start to wear a lot faster, but also they don't retain heat as well, and so that heat gets transferred into all the other brake components, and it puts a lot of wear on the whole system.